Hi and welcome back to Love English. I'm Leila and today I want to share 10 idiomatic expressions with you. Now I know you've probably seen a lot of lessons on idioms before, but this one is a little bit different. In this lesson, I'm going to share 10 idiomatic expressions that you can use to give advice. Advice that you are giving from your own personal experience and knowledge. These idiomatic expressions are going to make you sound incredibly wise, meaning you'll be drawing on your knowledge and experience of life to share this with friends or perhaps a younger member of your family. These idioms are exceptionally common in British English, and so you may even hear them in a movie or when you're listening to native speakers having a conversation. But there is a lot of meaning behind them. There is wise and sensible advice. So hopefully next time you're having a conversation in English and someone is explaining a problem or asking for your advice directly, you'll be able to use one of these idiomatic expressions to help them make a decision or to understand a particular situation. And don't forget, before we get started, make sure you do click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the notifications bell to make sure you are one of the first to be notified when we upload lessons. And if you'd like to learn more about me and Sabrah, then of course you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. So on with the lesson, 10 idiomatic expressions to make you sound intelligent, wise, and to give very sensible advice. Number 1. Take it with a pinch of salt. Take it with a pinch of salt. So a pinch is this. This is the action to pinch. Sometimes you might say, pinch me, if you don't believe something is true. But when we're talking about a pinch of salt, we're meaning that don't listen to what somebody has said. It's quite likely that somebody has exaggerated something. It's probably not the whole truth. So you'd only really want to believe part of what's been said. She told me she was earning loads of money, but I can't understand how. I'll take what she says with a pinch of salt. I wouldn't believe everything you hear. Number 2, don't put your eggs all in one basket. This is some very sensible advice, meaning don't put all your hopes into one thing. Make sure that you have options, opportunities. So for example, you may see one job that you really want, but in fact, it would be sensible to apply for more than one job, to apply for many jobs, just in case you don't get the one you want. Don't put your eggs all in one basket. You can't depend on your success from one person or one thing. Make sure that you have options. Don't put your eggs all in one basket. If you want to avoid or recommend that somebody doesn't make a situation worse than it already is, you should say, you don't want to add fuel to the fire. You don't want to add fuel to the fire. When you're talking about adding fuel to the fire, you're talking about making the situation much worse, encouraging it almost. So for example, if your boss was a little bit moody, maybe almost rude to you, and you want to go over there and tell them what's what, you want to tell them that they shouldn't talk to you like that and that they're being very rude, someone might say to you, really, don't add fuel to the fire. Maybe you've had an argument with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and actually what you could do with is some space. Don't start arguing more and complaining about some other things that they've done that annoyed you. Don't add fuel to the fire. To bite off more than you can chew. If you tell somebody, don't bite off more than you can chew, you're not literally talking about eating and how much they eat. What you're talking about is how much they are taking on. Are they taking on a task that is too big or too much work for them? You're never going to finish that presentation in time. You've got until tomorrow. You're really biting off more than you can chew. Number 5, to cut to the chase. If you tell somebody, would you mind cutting to the chase? Or could you just cut to the chase? You're asking them to be direct. Just get to the point. It's not necessarily rude, but be careful of your intonation. You don't want to be too blunt and direct. Cut to the chase. No. Would you mind? Would you mind just cutting to the chase? If you're pitching an idea to your boss, it's much better to cut to the chase. Don't get distracted by lots of little details. Just tell them the highlights, the main points, and the main benefits. Cutting to the chase is often much more professional and efficient in business. And of course, even in a relationship, if someone's trying to tell you something, you could just say, look, just cut to the chase. Or you could say it yourself. Look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I really don't think the way you behaved last night was appropriate. Number 6, this is a great one. To say that it takes two to tango. Now be careful, it is always two to tango. There's a nice little bit of alliteration going on there. So you wouldn't say it takes two to cha-cha or it takes two to waltz. It is always it takes two to tango. And we can often use this when we're referring to people that are arguing or difficulties in a relationship where you might not know each side of the situation. It's important to realise that it takes two to tango. Actions and communications take two people. Therefore, it's always useful to use when giving relationship advice. We argue all the time. I just can't believe it. Come on, it takes two to tango. Meaning you can't have an argument by yourself. It does take two people. So this is a great expression and one that you'll hopefully remember. Just think about the dance. Can you believe how he's behaving? Come on, it takes two to tango. Meaning you can't put all the blame on one person. It often takes two to argue. Number 7, to kill two birds with one stone. Now don't worry, animal lovers, this does not mean that a bird or birds are being killed. But what it's referring to is solving two problems with one action. Essentially, you're being much more efficient. So I decided to cycle to work. That way I can save money and get exercise. Number 8. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover, or you can't judge a book by its cover. Meaning you can't judge someone or something simply by the external appearance. You need to understand the situation better before you can make a judgment. She never seems to smile. I don't think she's very friendly. Don't judge a book by its cover. Number 9, to give someone the benefit of the doubt. The benefit of the doubt. In this case, you're saying that you should listen to somebody and believe them without needing proof. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He said he was late to work because of the buses, and I chose to believe him. Number 10, to hit the nail on the head. If somebody hits the nail on the head, they basically got it exactly right. They were spot on, exact. I asked if she was stressed because of money problems. She told me I hit the nail on the head. When you said our marriage problems were because we needed to communicate more, you hit the nail on the head. So there we have it, 10 idiomatic expressions to help you sound much smarter, wiser, intelligent, and to give good, effective advice. And of course, to sound super natural and native, whether in conversation with friends or giving advice to friends and family. Those idioms are really going to help you have a conversation in English and give fantastic advice. So why not comment below? Are any of these idiomatic expressions similar in your language? How do some of the idioms in your language translate into English? Idioms are a very peculiar thing. Often they just don't translate into English. You may have some that are similar, but if you translate them word for word, they can often sound a little bit strange. So let me know, which idioms are similar in your language and how do they differ? Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.